Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's live session focusing on Power BI. Please use the Q&A section throughout, and we'll get to your questions after the presentation. To give some context, Power BI is Microsoft's business intelligence and analytics tool, and it is one of the 4 Power Platform applications developed for organizations to maximize data usage and uncover insights. Our speaker today is Krutika Pillai. She has been working in the Microsoft Dynamics field for more than 4 years. She has experience in development and technical consulting and has worked on Microsoft cloud technologies like Dynamics CRM and Power BI. The focus of this webinar is to show you the real capabilities of Power BI, how you can harness data so that it improves your business efficiency and gives you that insight into the various departments of your business. Now I'll hand over to Krutika so she can explain the capabilities of Power BI in detail.
Thank you, Scott. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. I am Krutika Pillai, and let's talk about data analytics with Power BI. So in today's webinar, we'll be giving a brief introduction of what Power BI is, its architecture, different data sources that Power BI can connect to, the different reports and dashboards that Mercurius has built. We'll also be showing an integration between Power BI and Power Apps. We'll discuss what scheduling refresh is, and we'll talk about how to manage workspace permissions. We'll also show some samples of pre-built reports built by Microsoft. And then we'll talk about Power BI implementation by Mercurius IT, and then a brief introduction of the licensing model. So let's get started. So Power BI is a cloud-based analytics service powered by Microsoft that helps us visualize data. It lets us easily connect to different data sources, visualize and discover what's important, and share that with anyone or everyone we want. So Power BI is made of multiple components. So we'll talk about the basic ones. The first one being the Power BI desktop. So Power BI desktop is basically a Windows application, a Windows desktop application, which we can use to build all our reports. And we can use it to connect to different data sources, build our reports. And once we are done building them, we can publish it online, which is the Power BI service. Using the Power BI service, the end users can log into the service and view all their reports and dashboards. We also have Power BI mobile apps for Windows, iOS, and Android devices. Power BI is also part of Microsoft Power Platform. So Power Platform is nothing but an umbrella term which encapsulates Microsoft standalone applications like Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, previously known as Microsoft Flows, Power Virtual Agents. All these products offer a platform in which less code is required to build the applications. So this is the architecture of Power BI. We can segregate it as data preparation, data visualization, and end user consumption. So in data preparation phase, we can connect to multiple data sources like Excel sheets. We can also connect to cloud-based as well as on-premise data sources. Once we connect to the data, we can extract the data and then we transform the data. Transform is basically cleaning the data or removing redundant data. After the data is ready, we can load it into the data warehouse. After loading, we build our reports based on those data. We can build our reports and dashboards and then share it with the end user, with whoever we want to share it with. Now, these are the most widely used data sources for Power BI. So we have Excel sheets, mostly used. We have Dynamics 365, which is a common connector, Salesforce, Azure, Amazon, and Business Central, and so on and so forth. The list is it's a pretty big list. So here this slide just lists out all the data connectors or the data sources for Power BI. So we have data sources like Google Analytics, Adobe Analytics that Power BI can connect to. And this is not an exhaustive list. There are many more data sources that Power BI can connect to. Now, this is a user-friendly interface in the Power BI desktop application to connect with the data. So when we click on Get Data, this is how easy it is to connect to the data. So we have all the data sources categorized into File, Database, Power Platform, Azure, online services, and other. And like, for example, in this image, we can see if we click on online services, we have options like SharePoint Online List, Dynamics 365 Online, Dynamics Nav, and all these are the options available in online services. And in other, we have options like Web, OData Feed, and these are all the options available. So we can connect to this data source and start building our reports. In this slide, this particular slide shows the in-house Power BI reports used by Mercurius IT. For building this particular report, we've connected to Dynamics 365 customer service module. So this particular report basically shows all the cases by age, by company, by distribution. We have stacked column charts, we have pie charts. We can also represent the data in a tabular format. We can apply different themes. Like you can see, we can apply different formats, which is more readable and relevant to the data. Now, for this particular report that Mercurius has built, we've connected to Dynamics 365 Project Service Automation. So here we can see all the employee timesheets and the management or the high authority can filter out these timesheets by resource name, by customer, by project task, date, and we can add as many filters as we want, and you can see the data. So the data is interactive, which I'll be showing it to you later in the presentation. Now, this particular slide shows us the integration between Power BI and Power Apps. Like in this slide, if you see, when we change the data and save it, the data immediately is reflected in the visual next to it. So this is how Power BI can be integrated into Power Apps. This particular line just moved. And we also have we inversely can add Power BI reports in the Power Apps as well. Next, this is how a dashboard, Power BI dashboard looks like. So we can cherry pick all the visuals from our report and put them in a dashboard so that all the key information is visible at a glance. Let's talk about data refresh. So what is data refresh? So Power BI, like I said, is connected to the different data sources. So when we schedule a data refresh, Power BI connects to the data source and gets the latest data from the data source into Power BI. So for scheduling a data refresh, we can mention the frequency. We can mention if we want, we can set the frequency to daily, weekly, or monthly as we want it. We specify the time zone and we can mention the time at which the refresh should happen. So here we can add multiple time slots. So how many time slots we can add here are dependent on the kind of licenses that we have, which we'll talk about in a bit. And additionally, we can also send failure notifications. In case there is some discrepancy or failure in refresh, we can add an email ID here to which a notification will be sent saying that there was some issue with the refresh of the data. So the concerned person can look into the issue immediately and resolve it. Now, before talking about managing workspace permissions, let's talk about what a workspace is. So when we build our reports and publish it online, we publish it in a workspace. So workspace can be thought of as a container or a box that holds all your reports and dashboards. So we can have multiple workspace based on the kind of requirement, based on a theme. Like for example, I can have a workspace which holds all my sales and marketing reports and dashboard. I can have another workspace which holds all the operation related reports and dashboards. So I can have multiple workspaces there. So after adding my report to the workspace, I can add people to the workspace so that they're able to view all the reports and dashboard in that particular workspace. So when we add users to the workspace, we give them roles. So we currently have these 4 roles, which are admin, member, contributor, and viewer. So when we add a user with a viewer role, the user will be able to log into Power BI service, view all the reports and dashboards that are shared with them, and they can interact with the data. What a contributor can do is they'll be able to see all the reports and dashboards, as well as they'll be able to add additional visuals or charts or make tweaks to the existing reports and dashboards. A member can do everything a contributor can do, and additionally, a member can also add an app, create an app, and share it with other people. And the next one is admin. Like the name suggests, the admin has administrative permissions. He can add members with administrative roles. He can remove members with administrative roles. He can do all the operations a member can do. Power BI can be used in various industries. For the purpose of today, we'll be showing you a couple of examples. These are pre-built Microsoft reports. So just to give you a glimpse of how reports look in Power BI. So this is how a report would look in Power BI service. So we have the name of the report here, which is customer profitability sample. So all the operations that can be done in file, we can see that we can save a copy. We can download the PBIX file. So when we create a report, the extension that the report gets is PBIX. So we can download that file. We can print the page, embed the report, generate a QR code. We can additionally export this particular report in PowerPoint format, in PDF, as well as in Excel format. We can share it with anyone we want to share it with. We can chat in Teams regarding this particular report. We can comment on the report or a particular visual. We can also subscribe to the report. What subscription basically means is when I subscribe to this report, I need to mention a frequency and a time. So say if I say I need this report every Friday at 9 a.m. and I say I want to subscribe to it, every Friday at 9 a.m. I will get a screenshot of this particular page in via email. And I'll also get a link to this report. So I'll get all the latest details of this report in that email. Next, we have the edit button. So if you have permissions, like the admin can edit this particular report. Like I had mentioned, you can also change the existing visuals and add if you want to. So if you have permissions, you can also edit the report. Now, these are all the pages in the report. So a report can have multiple pages. So in the left-hand side that we see, these are all the pages that we have in the report. So we are on the first page, which is the team scorecard. So on this page, like we can see, this particular report, in this report, you can see all the key metrics about the business unit managers, products, customers, and gross margins. At a glance, we can see what factors are impacting profitability. So in this chart, we can see variance percent to budget by month and name. So we also have a slicer or a filter here by the project managers. So like I'd mentioned, the reports are interactive. So if I click on one of these, let's click on Andrew Ma. So all the data on this particular page will change to reflect all the data which is relevant to Andrew Ma. So we can see like the total revenue by region for Andrew Ma is highest in the East. If you hover over the reports, you also see additional details like the total revenue. You actually see the number there. We also have revenue variance by budget. Here we have a stacked column with line chart, and we also have a geographical map here, so which shows us the area from where the revenue is being generated. Additionally, we can also zoom in, or we can focus on a particular visual. So how to do that? Just click on focus mode here, and it'll take us to that particular visual. Can be seen more clearly, and here we can interact with this visual more clearly. If I hover over it, I see additional details of all the revenue per percent to budget. So I can go back to the report. Next, let's go to the next page, which is the industry margin analysis. Again, we have here slicers by industry and product. So again, I can filter this entire page based on these two slicers. We have number of customers, number of products listed here in cards. We have a scatter chart. We have an area chart. We have a tree map. So the total revenue of whichever product is highest will take the maximum space in the tree map. Like we can see here, Primus is the highest, and we can also see the total revenue by product. So let us filter it by one of the industries. Let's select energy, and let's say Primus. So in this, since I've filtered it by these two filters, I can see all the data which belongs to the industry energy and to the product Primus. So we can filter the data in this way. Next, let's look at the executive scorecard. So in this particular visual, it is formatted in such a way that it shows the details of a particular VP. So for example, if I select Hanley, So I see all the revenue by status, and I see the customers, I see revenue variance to budget. I also can see the total revenue by region. So let's look at another report, which can also be used in the human resource industry. So in this report, we can see new links, new hires, active employees, and employees who have left. It strives to uncover any trends in the hiring strategy. So we can see all the new hires. We can see new hires same period last year, and we can see active year over year percent change in this particular chart. We can see hires by ethnicity. We can see if they are hired full-time or part-time. And here we can also see new hires by gender. And we can see a waterfall model of the increase or decrease of the new hires. Next, we have actives and separations. So again, we have stacked column chart, line chart, and pie charts. We also have line charts here. So we have separations and say separation same period last year. So it shows us as we hover over it, it shows us the values or the numbers for that particular month. So I'd hovered over May. So this is the value in May that was for separations and separation same period last year. So again, we have waterfall model, our bar chart here. Then on the next page, it shows us all the bad hires. Again, we have it segregated by gender, by ethnicity, by percent of actives, by age group. We have the waterfall model. Yeah, again, we have a scorecard by VP. So if I select a particular VP, all the data in this visual will reflect to show that VP's hires. So we have Brett Jones selected here. So we have all the data which is relevant to Brett Jones. Next, let's look at another report. So next we have opportunity analysis. In this report, it tracks all the opportunities and revenue by region, deal size, and channel. So we can filter it we can filter it by partner driven. If it is yes or no, we can see the opportunity count. We can see opportunity size, whether it's small, medium, or large. We can see opportunity count by sales stage. And next page, we see the revenue by region, revenue by sales stage, whether it's partner driven or not. And we have this card charts, which shows us the revenue, factored revenue, opportunity count. Now this page shows us all the upcoming opportunities by month. So I can filter out the data by month. I can say if I want to see what was the data for the month of Feb. So the data on this page reflects all the upcoming opportunities for the month of Feb. Next, we have region stage count. So we have opportunity count by region and state. So here it shows us the region, whether it's east, west, or central. It shows us by region and sales stage. And yeah, let's have a look at another report, which is procurement analysis. So it analyzes a manufacturing company's spending on vendors by category and location. We can identify who the top vendors are, what the categories of the company that they spent on, and which vendor gives the highest discount and when. So this is the overview of spend. So we can see it is segregated by category. If we hover over it, we'll also be able to see which category has how much value. So here we have total invoice by subcategory. Again, a geographical map here. And then we can see the discount analysis. So the total discount percent and the total invoice is given on this particular chart. This is a stacked column chart with a line chart. Here we have the area chart, which is discount savings by month. And then we have total invoice by city. Next, let's look at retail analysis. So it analyzes retail sales data of items sold across multiple stores and districts. The metrics compare this year's performance to last year's for sales, units, gross margin, and variance, as well as new store analysis. So here we can see how many new stores were there and total number of stores. Here in this geographical map, the new stores are represented by a blue circle, and the red ones show the same stores which already existed. So and if we hover over it, it also shows the sales data. Here we have scatter chart and we have the variance by fiscal month. Here again, we have district monthly sales. So again, we can filter it by district manager, and it shows us last year's sales versus this year's sales, this area chart. And yeah, let's look at the new store analysis. So this page will show us all the data about the new stores, their sales by month. We can also filter it here. Next, let's look at another industry, which is the sales and marketing industry. In this report, it analyzes the industry and the company's market share, product volume, sales, and sentiment. So we've taken an example of this particular company, which is Van Artstel Limited market share. So it shows all the market share and all the data relevant to that particular company. So we have total category volume, percent units market share, and we have all the data here. Then we have year-to-date category trend analysis. This is divided by manufacturer. Here we can see the geographical map here, where they're located. And here we see manufacturer, total units by month and manufacturer. This is the sentiment analysis across the different districts. And here we have the growth opportunities. So like we just saw, data, complex data can be visualized in a very easy to understand manner so that we can make informed decisions. So next, let's have a look at Power BI implementation by Mercurius IT. So Mercurius IT has implemented Power BI for multiple domains like manufacturing, change management, financial services, rail, and IT industries. And we've connected to different data sources like Dynamics CRM, Azure, SharePoint, Excel, etc. These reports have helped businesses analyze their performance of the departments and improve business process efficiency. So here, this particular slide just in detail explains what we've done for the manufacturing industry. So in the Power BI reports that we built, it helped our clients to keep track of the activities, operations, and the service history for the manufacturing industry. Next, we have the financial service industry. So intuitive Power BI reports ensured that the higher management had good insight into the performance of their employees as well as their customers based on the day-to-day opening and closing balances. Next, we have an example in the change management industry. It gave an insight into how much money was being spent on marketing efforts and its effectiveness in converting leads to clients. Next, we have an overview of the Power BI licensing model. So for Power BI, there are three basic licenses, which is the Power BI Pro, Premium per user, also known as PPU, and Premium per capacity. So Pro and Premium per user are licensed individually, whereas Premium per capacity is given to the organization. So anyone within the organization can log in and view and create those reports. And for Pro, like we mentioned before, we were talking about scheduling refreshes. If you have a Pro license, you can mention up to 8 time slots. That is, you can schedule up to 8 refreshes per day. For Premium per user and Premium per capacity, we can schedule up to 48 refreshes per day. So with this, we have come to the end of the presentation. If you have any questions, please go ahead. So we have a question here which says, are there any restrictions on data source? So Power BI, like I had shown, there are a number of data sources that Power BI can connect to. If the data source is listed, then there are no restrictions. You can easily connect your data source to Power BI. So we need to check if Power BI, the data source that you want to connect to is listed in the Power BI available data source connectors. So we have another question, which is, can we have just one Pro license to create reports and then all free licenses to consume those reports? So for creating reports, you're right, you need a Pro license. But if you want to share those reports with other people, the person you're sharing it with also needs to have a Pro license. So the answer to that is no. If you do not have a license, then you won't be able to view those reports. The person who is sharing and with whom the report is being shared, both need to have the license.
And one thing to add is the benefit of free licenses, whenever you are creating any reports using those free licenses, these are accessible to only you and your workspace. So any report that has been created in any particular workspace using a free license, those can't be shared with anyone else in the organization.
So we have another question which says, how does it compare to competition, cost-wise and technology-wise? So there are various applications or products available in the market. So in detail analysis, so Power BI is currently one of the best data analytics tool used in the market right now. So yeah, cost-wise, we need to do a detailed analysis. If you're interested, we can get back to you and share the details with you.
And one more thing I'd like to add here is last month in April, Microsoft has released a new license for Power BI, which is the premium per user license. And going ahead, going by the feedback that has been received so far in the online communities, this license is going to be quite popular among the users because this license provides most of the features that are there in a premium license, but at the same time, the price of that license is much lesser than what the premium per capacity license costs. So at this point of time, the premium per user license costs at around 15 pounds per user per month, and the premium per capacity, it is somewhere around 3.5 thousand pounds per tenant per month.
Also, I would like to add here that technology-wise, as Kritika have mentioned before, that it comes under Power Platform. So very much less coding is required to build the reports or any visualization. So technology-wise as well as cost-wise, it is very effective.
We have another question here asking if it's really codeless and if anyone can do it.
Yes, it is. If you're familiar with the Excel formulas, yeah, you can do it. It is codeless and anyone can do it. And we also have the free version, like Somashi mentioned. So you can download the desktop app and explore the basic functionalities. It is pretty easy to use. So yes, you do not need to have in-depth knowledge of coding. You can start exploring right away.
Just to add to it, the only thing that can be a problem in creation of reports is the how much clean the data is. The cleaner the data, the easier it is for you to convert them into reports in Power BI. So the data hygiene is a huge factor to easily create reports in Power BI.
And there's another one here asking what's the difference between interactive dashboards and Power BI dashboards in CRM?
So like we have interactive dashboards in CRM. So the data source is obviously CRM. So in Power BI dashboards, you can have your data connected to multiple sources. So it does not have to be connected to only CRM, which is dynamic CRM. It can be a combination of your Excel sheets, your CRM, or your ERP system, and it gives a comprehensive view of all the data. So yeah. Again, one more difference that is when we create our reports, like I had mentioned, in dashboards, we cherry pick those particular visuals to add in our dashboards. So when we create a dashboard in Power BI and we can see additional details, like when it is refreshed, there's real-time refresh that happens. So when we click on a particular visual in a dashboard, it'll take us to the report from which it was built. So we can have in detail analysis of that visual as well, which is not visual or which is not visible in the dashboard. So the capabilities, if I have to summarize, the capabilities of CRM or interactive dashboards are limited as compared to Power BI dashboards. So we have another question which asks us, just like Salesforce trial instance, which never expires, do we have similar trial instance for Power BI? Yes, so since it is free, it wouldn't expire.
Apart from the free licenses, there are trials available for the others as well, but these do not, they expire after a specific amount of time.
There's another question which asks, could the reports generated be incorporated into a website? Yes, it can be done. That can be done. We get embedding of these reports is possible.
Okay, I think that's all the questions we'll be answering in this session. Kritika, could you go back to the slides, please?
Thank you all for attending.
Thank you very much, everyone, for attending, as Gayatri said. And if you have any more questions, please don't hesitate to reach out and we'll get in touch.